So we want to calculate what is the equation of projectile motion. So let us suppose say that we are throwing an object at some angle theta from the ground, and we want to calculate what will be its equation of this trajectory. And you will see while solving some question, there are questions that are very specifically framed on this equation only, because if you do not know this equation of projectile motion, then you cannot also solve those questions. So we want to calculate what is the equation of this trajectory. Equation of this shape also. We are saying that we want to calculate equation of projectile motion. So let us suppose that at time t is equal to 0, we are throwing an object from origin at an angle theta with an initial speed of u, and after certain time it reaches to a point P whose coordinate axes are x comma y. So its coordinate axis is x comma y, and this arrive at a time t after some time t is equal to 0. It was at origin, and after certain time it was at point P whose coordinates are x and y, and at time t. So this means that our object has traveled a horizontal distance of x. What are we saying? We are saying that if object has arrived at point P, then this means that our object has traveled a horizontal distance x and a vertical distance y, and because some time has passed, so we can say that at this point, let us suppose that at this point its velocity is v. And how do we find velocity? We will draw a tangent line, and we are saying that this velocity is v, and from the ground it's making an angle alpha. Let's suppose that we are saying that this is making an angle alpha. So we know that acceleration in the x direction is 0, acceleration in y direction is minus g. We have taken our coordinate axis like this, x and y direction, positive x and y direction. Initial velocity ux is u cos theta. We know that we can resolve u as u cos theta and u sin theta. Initial velocity is u sin theta, and we also know that this distance, if we want to calculate how much distance or how this x distance was traveled in time t, so there will be relation between x and ux into time t. This we know that there is no acceleration in the x direction. That's why the horizontal distance traveled by the object will be initial velocity, that initial velocity in x direction. That also means that we know that because there is no acceleration in the x direction, that's why velocity vx remains throughout the time. Velocity in the x direction remains ux, initial velocity throughout its journey, because there is no acceleration along the x direction. So we say that this will be the equation, and after that we can calculate y. The vertical distance traveled y will be initial velocity uyt minus 1 by 2, and acceleration is minus g, and this should be time t square, because time t has elapsed. So we get these two equations. Equation 1 is always true because there is no acceleration in the x direction. That's why any horizontal distance traveled from the point of projection is always ux into time passed, and vertical distance y will be uy, initial velocity uyt minus 1 by 2 gt square. And we want to find out a relationship between x and y, because we are saying that we want to find the equation of this projectile motion. So we want to find out what is the relationship between x and y. So what we can see, that we don't want time dependence in xy. That's why we eliminate time t from equation 1 and substitute its value in equation 2. So we get y equal to uy, and from equation 1 we say that time t will be x divided by ux minus 1 by 2 g, and this should be x square by ux square. And we can further solve this, and this will come out as x uy by ux will be tan theta x tan theta minus g x square divided by u square cos square theta. So this is the equation that we get, and this shows that y, this is also, we can say that this is y as a function of x. There is a y as a function of x. We see that y as a function of x, there is a x to power 2. So we say that this is quadratic equation, or we also say that this is a parabolic equation. That's why we say that, because y and x have relationship of parabolic equation of y is equal to x square. This equation has of x square type relationship. That's why the path of the projectile is parabolic path. So you will face that some of the questions that you will see in the question, that now suppose that if velocity u is given, initial velocity u is given, angle theta is given, and it is says that at certain distance from point of projection there is a wall of certain height. Okay, so we say that there is a wall of certain height. So what will be the angle? You can ask anything. I mean, what are the things that can be given in a question? Y x, theta and u. So these are the four quantities that are related by this equation. So these four quantity, any of the three quantities can be given and the fourth one can be asked. For example, we are saying that there is a wall of certain height. At what angle should an object be thrown from this point of projection? So we can calculate that using this equation. Hopefully you have understood this, how we are solving or how do we arrive at this equation.